When I think back to my childhood, there's a lot of disturbing memories, memories that I shouldn't have, nor any other individual who is a victim of child abuse. I try to find a pleasant memory, but I can't because every day for about 5 years I lived in complete fear. I lived with my mom, dad, and brother until I was about 10 years old. Every day, my mom would start the day by having a drink. She wasn't able to do anything else unless she started drinking. And I don't know where her alcohol problem started, but it was getting to the point where it was out of control. And she didn't care about anything. She wasn't even my mom anymore because she didn't care about her children. The only thing she cared about was drinking. My mom's drinking always caused endless fights that always ended with the cops coming. But my dad would end up leaving because my mom would blame everything on him and the cops would just tell him to leave. So it got to the point where he wasn't even coming home anymore. So we lived with just her, and every time the cops would come for a fight that happened, they wouldn't believe my brother or I. They didn't believe the kids that she was actually hurting us because she said she would never hurt her kids, and she told them how much she loved her kids every single time. And for some reason, the police always believed her, even though there'd be marks on us that were from her. And it was just a horrible situation to be stuck in. I questioned my mom a lot about why dad always left because I didn't understand at the time. And she knew I loved him, and she used that to hurt me even more because she would force me to tell her that I love her more than my dad, or she'd scratch me across the face, break my door open, chase my brother around the house for a nickel one time, and it ended with her picking him up, throwing him against the wall, punching him in the face. He broke his bottom tooth, and his whole mouth was bleeding, gushing blood. And when the cops showed up that night, because they heard they had a noise complaint or something like that. I don't exactly remember. She told the police that my brother ran into a wall, and they believed that. I just am so like I don't understand how they don't believe that she caused all this because she was really drunk and it was very obvious. They always just said, Dina, I'm sorry, you've been drinking too much tonight. Just go to bed, put the children to bed, calm down, everything will be okay in the morning. But everything wasn't okay because it just started over again. And that wasn't the only incident. She'd pulled me out of a moving car by my hair before. I fell face first onto the concrete. My whole face messed up from hitting the concrete. She'd cook dinner with her bottle next to her, break it, put the glass in the pot, stir it around, and then serve it to my brother and I in a bowl, and I would have to pick out the glass so that he didn't die from eating glass. Like, that's just a horrible thing that a 10-year-old had to go through, and I had to be the adult. I had to take care of my brother, or we wouldn't have got out of the situation because she really went after us. She tried to kill us. She chased us after around the house with a knife. She cut me across the face. My whole face was bleeding. And that night, the cops came again because they got another complaint for noise because every single night she was always going crazy. The cops finally believed us. And it was a real big relief to see her get put in handcuffs and taken away. And although she now has a felony for child abuse, we were out of that situation. And I have never lived with my mom since because she lost custody of her children and she didn't even try to see them after that. It was over. She lost. My dad won. It was just the game that they always played, and it was so wrong. It was just so wrong. And from that moment on that I lived with my father, Dyfus was involved for about 5 years after that because he too wasn't stable enough to, have children, to take care of children on his own. He was also an alcoholic and drug addict, so we were watched closely by Dyfus for the 5 years after that. And if it wasn't for Dyfus, I might have still been in that situation at home with my mother because she wouldn't have lost custody. And I don't know, maybe the abuse would have gone on for longer. So I just wanted to share that with you